Hey everyone and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video we have a first impression review slash preview of the Brooks Hyperion Elite 5. This shoe is releasing on July 1st, so here in a few weeks when you're watching this video, for €275. And it is the new iteration of Brooks' top-of-the-line racing shoe. The predecessor was the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 PB, PB standing for PIBA, with that new DNA gold foam here in the midsole, and the brand new Hyperion Elite 5 retains that DNA gold midsole compound 100% PIBA, and comes with a few different upgrades. Visually, first of all, as you can see with that nice looking midsole cutout and the bubbles making it very pleasing to the eye, but also most importantly some other changes in the upper, in the midsole, and in general this shoe is almost completely different from this one. So there's a lot to say. Let's dive into it, and first of all let's go through the specs. In terms of specs, we have 40mm in the heel, 8mm drop for that 32mm in the forefoot. This shoe comes at 221 grams in my size US 11 EU 45. This is a sample size US 11 EU 45. It's 198 grams for a men's sample size, so a US 9 or EU 43, I believe, 42.5. That's going to be sub 200 grams. And for me, this is a smidge over 220 grams, 221. This shoe, the 4PB, was 218 in my size, so they're fairly the same, pretty much the same weight for these two shoes. When it comes to the price, I mentioned it, it's €275, releasing on July 1st. And that's pretty much it for the specs. Let's go through the upper of this shoe, and we have a almost similar but at the same time quite different material. The texture is the same. This one on the 5 feels a bit more plasticky, and most importantly, when you compare them side by side, I believe that the Hyperion Elite 5 upper has a bit more ventilation. It should be a bit more breathable. I would say that the lockdown feels a bit more snug, a bit more tight, a bit more race ready on the 4PB. The 5 has a bit more of that, I definitely wouldn't say relaxed fit because it's race ready as well, but it's probably a bit more accommodating, especially here in the midfoot and the forefoot. There's a bit more volume. I wouldn't go half a size down by any means, but you could, if you wanted to, especially for short distances, 3K, 5K, 10K, you could go half down on this shoe, whereas this one was perfect as a true to size fit. Putting this one aside, let's quickly look at the heel. It's a semi-pliable, let's say flexible heel counter. There's a very nice amount of padding. It's actually a comfortable heel, and Brooks in general knows how to make comfortable shoes. The tongue is not gusseted. It's a attached tongue. However, there's a couple of places here in the eyelet chain where the laces go through the tongue and kind of keep it close to the upper so that it doesn't move around too much. The laces are very nice textured laces, high-end stuff from Brooks, and the placement of the eyelets is a bit different compared to the 4PB. I would say that it doesn't make a huge difference, but I was achieving a slightly better lockdown on the 4PB. This is also a good lockdown. However, again, I feel like in terms of perfection, the 4PB was maybe a bit closer to perfection, and now the 5 will accommodate more fit, which is good. More people will be able to race in Brooks shoes, but if you want something very snug, then maybe consider going half a size down on this shoe. When it comes to the width, like I said, I think it's good in terms of what it can accommodate, and the platform itself looks like it's a bit more narrow on the 5 compared to the 4, especially here in the midfoot area of the two shoes. The 5 is definitely a bit more narrow than the 4PB. In terms of midsole, we have that same DNA gold 100% PIBA midsole compound. It is, as you can see, if I squish the shoe, very squishy, especially here with the midsole cutout and the bubbles. You can really see how they work and how they compress. It is softer than the 4PB for sure. It feels snappier, it feels a bit faster as well, but it feels also maybe a touch less efficient, meaning that you could achieve a slightly better running economy in this shoe. In my opinion, with my running style, again, take everything I say with a grain of salt because it's applying to myself. Whereas the 5 feels like it's a bit more joyful, more playful, faster, snappier, but probably better at shorter distances with my style of running at least. Now, when it comes to the people who this shoe will please, I believe everyone from a heel striker to a forefoot striker can find something interesting in this shoe. Heel strikers will probably have a lot of compression, maybe some bottoming out. If you're a bit heavier, that's what you might experience with this shoe. And if you're leaning more towards that forefoot strike, you will have a lot of zestiness in the forefoot. It's very, very playful. and it's actually very fun and more fun than the one of the 4PB, which I believe was not ideal for 4-foot runners because the amount of foam and the squishiness here was probably not what 4-foot runners were after. Also, there's also a bit of, I'm keeping on grabbing this shoe, a couple of differences. The first one, quite obvious, is that the outsole pattern is different. I have no issues with the grip on either shoe, but I didn't race or run with them in very, very wet conditions or very slippery conditions. There is, like I said, a bit less width here in the midfoot on the 5. Which is okay. It's, you know, I think decent in terms of stability, probably not as good as the stability of the 4PB, but it's decent. However, the biggest change is definitely the absence of that cutout here. It was a bit of a stone catcher, not as bad as some other shoes, but it did catch some stones for me. Here you don't have it, and what it does is that I believe the decoupling with this shoe was a bit better than with this one, although it's not that bad. But the flexibility, as you can see, is probably slightly better thanks to that cutout here on this shoe than it is here on the 5. Like I said, this kind of stiffer but with a softer foam type of construction makes it snappier, a bit faster at high-end paces, whereas that shoe was, I mean, felt a bit more compliant and a bit more adapted to longer distances, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. This is really a preview of this shoe, first impression. I will keep on running in this shoe. I think it's really fun. I could see this becoming my go-to track workout or, you know, tempo workout on the track, threshold workout on the track type of shoe. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I look forward to addressing all of them. Thanks a lot for watching. Enjoy your run today. Enjoy your ride. Go beyond your limits. And I shall see you in the next one.